Hey y'all. So, bear with me because I'm going to make a short story long instead of a long story short. So, the other day, I went on an adventure. And like many of my adventures, it was something heart led, right? And I went to go get this compass. And the guy that I met that I bought this little compass from, because I know if you're following me, you know I'm always talking about the compass. Your inner voice is your compass. Where is it leading you? So on that adventure, I ended up by the water, and I did my last video on St. John's River. And I talked about where is your inner compass leading you. So on the way home from that adventure, I thought, you know what? I'm going to go to Paynes Prairie and I'm going to go watch the sunset and I'm going to watch the buck moon rise. So this was just the other day. And while I was there, I watched the sunset and I'm waiting for the moon to rise. And, you know, I'm content with my own company. And I always meet the most interesting people along the way. Nothing is ever a coincidence. Remember that on your journey. When you're in alignment with your purpose, nothing is ever a coincidence. Stay aware, pay attention. There was a guy, an old man that I met, and he struck up conversation with me. And I was telling him about the adventures that I had that day and how I ended up at the Paynes Prairie watching the moonrise. And he said, you know, I come here all the time. I love it here. And then it just spontaneously said, have you ever been to the ravine in Palatka? And I was like, no, what is that? And he said, oh, it's a nature park. And he's like, you know, you should go there. You would really like that. So later on in the week, yesterday, I was having a conversation with my dad. And I was telling him about all my spontaneous adventures and where my compass is leading me, right? And then I said, Dad, do you believe in angels? He said, absolutely. And I told him about that conversation that I had with that man. And I said, how did he know what I was going to like? He just met me. Makes you think, right? So now I went to the ravine today and walking the nature walk. Is absolutely beautiful. If you've never been to the ravines in Palatka, Florida, visit at least once. Beautiful. Take water. It's a long trail and it's hot in Florida. So I'm walking these trails and it's just beautiful. I'm taking all these videos. You know, there's suspension bridges. There's old steps that you go up. It's just gorgeous. And I end up on the road. That's a road that you can drive through to look at it through by your car, right? So I'm like, hey, you know what? Something told me just keep walking up that road. So I walk up the road and there's this lady with a hat on that says, enjoy your journey. I have the same hat. And she's sitting down on a bench. And I walk over to take a picture right next to where she was. And she said, hi, how you doing? And I was like, I'm good. How are you doing? She said, well, I think I overdid it. And I was like, you overdid it? Well, I'm proud of you for getting up and doing it. So I start talking to her and she said, I just finished treatment. She's a cancer survivor. And she said, I just finished treatment, but I'm trying to push myself to keep going. And she said, well, I have to get my husband to come back and pick me up in the car. So that's what I'm waiting for. And I said, I'll wait with you. And so her husband pulls up in this car. And on the front bumper is a compass. So now I know why the angel told me that I needed to come to the ravines today. So I took a picture of the lady's bumper, the bumper plate, And then I showed her my compass that I always wear, right? And this compass that led me right to her. So I said, nothing's a coincidence. We're here to encourage each other, to lift each other up, to build each other, to push each other, to spark authenticity. So I got her name and I shook her hand and I said, you know what? I want you to keep pushing because it really matters. Keep pushing yourself. I'm so glad that I listened to my heart and I came here to meet you today. And you're in my thoughts. So listen to that voice. Do the spontaneous. If somebody mentions somewhere for you to go, try to visit, because especially if your inner voice keeps telling you to go there. Somebody there needs you. We are here for each other to help lift each other. Visit that place. You're always going to meet somebody on your journey, and either they're there to help you or you're there to help them. Stay love and stay light. God is with you every step of the way. I just want to add this too. When I first got out to make the video, I'm always talking about two things. I'm always talking about the compass, and I'm always talking about the mirror. And when I got out of my car, this is what I found. This little mirror. He's always with you. He's always giving you signs. Pay attention. Live in the mystery. It's beautiful. If you have too many plans and you're stuck in those plans, you're going to miss out on all the things that God has for you in this life. I love you and have a great day.